I was very passionate about art overall. I always have been. And that part of me has never changed. But there were a lot of doubts I had in my mind about who I was, even just who I was as a professional, or like the kind of field that I even wanted to go into. Like I knew at the time I wanted to be a designer, but then at the same time, I also wasn't 100% confident in that. I just would not have admitted that back then. I would get back then, I think I just didn't know at all how to get where I wanted to go. Even though I was getting a lot of success, I was also experiencing a lot of heartbreak in those areas too. I think those things were some blockages for me, and they created some issues that I had to work through as far as like my self-worth and my value as a creative person. I struggled a lot with comparing myself to other artists back then. Part of me just didn't believe that I was measuring up. I was kind of at an all-time low as well, just from all of the stuff that I had experienced. I had experienced someone basically stealing my money from my fashion brand and other things. I basically wanted to give up completely. And then when like you had messaged me, I was like, well, maybe I'll give this another try. That was the first time I had felt spiritually alive in a long time. You know, after a while, and when you get disappointed and you get frustrated and things don't work out the way it's supposed to, or the way you feel like it's supposed to, it warned me after a while. And so I could definitely see that after doing that first week of the challenge, and that really kind of helped me recenter where I was even in my mindset, with how I viewed myself and how I viewed my artwork. And I knew that I did not want to lose that within the first week. And I also know that I thrive in accountability, and a group like that felt like that for me. I basically had a bunch of lies that I believed about myself, with money and really creativity, and about whether or not I could even just make money doing what it is that I love. And I think the biggest shift for me was like realizing, no, like I don't have to believe what the world tells me to believe. I can do what I want to do and still make money doing it. I just might have to be a little creative with how I go about doing it. And that for me was like a really big shift, accepting that I could essentially make money doing what it was that I wanted to do in the first place. Before I started working with you, I didn't even really take care of myself very well at all. And I didn't really do much strategy before. And then from there, I was able to fully kind of do everything, including the mental reworking of my mind and how I saw those things within my mind, and even just like applying business strategies and things like that I wasn't doing really effectively before. Because then at that point it was, okay, well now I have to make time to be able to do these things, and I have to make time to, example, write a press release. But I have to care for myself first, so I'm going to go eat first and then write a press release. Like almost like mind, body, spirit versus just mind and body. It was like I was only living in a half truth, I guess, versus a full truth of who I was. I would say those really helped me kind of embrace being able to, again, like launch those business strategies or come up with them. You inspire us to keep going, and you encourage us along the way, and you encourage growth as well, like not just to remain stagnant, but like to continue growing and see what we can learn from our experiences. And that's one of the things also that I've always appreciated about our programs, or your programs that you've done, is we're always very real about things. Like, yeah, we get excited about big dreams and goals and things like that, but then also too, if like it doesn't work out, that's okay as well. And there's not this like pressure that like it has to be a certain way, which I've always appreciated. Those are the things that kind of draw me back, is like I feel like I'm always being encouraged. And then yeah, just the growth that I've seen as well in myself, and in my business. Like I was questioning whether or not I could even afford to pay for some of your programs, and I have always found ways to pay for them, because I kind of took a leap of faith for the first month, and then all of a sudden I started getting a whole bunch of business inquiries. I went from making hardly anything, like I didn't have, like I had less than $2,000 in my bank account, and now I'm making, I've quadrupled all of that, and it's still growing to this day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because that was just in the first year you quadrupled it, and then you've had massive business growth every year, haven't you?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And
Wow.
my clients, I get regular work, which is really great. I used to not get regular work. Yeah. That gave me the courage to just say, you know what, screw it. I had a job that I really liked, but then like basically they ended up lowering my pay rate. And I was just like, no, I think I'm ready at this point to do this, full time. I kind of was like, well, I would rather do what I love to do anyways. So I've thought about quitting quite a few times and going back to that. But that was when I got my email from Life and Style magazine, wanting me to do a sketch of Taylor Swift for the cover and for an article on the inside. And I also basically got to design what would this dress look like on her, kind of a sketch, that was really fun to do. That was crazy experiencing that. I remember when we got off the call, I was like, oh my gosh, like you would not believe what just happened.
Yeah, I think I got a text within 5 minutes of ending that call where you were like, I'm going to quit. This is it. I'm done. It's over. I'm walking away.
Yeah. And then I got that email. I've worked with, recently I've been working with Robert Graham. Billy Reed is another one that I sketch regularly for. I just booked Ecco. I am also working with emerging designers as well, like Natalie Taylor, Abby Glass. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're local to Atlanta. Rag Trade of Atlanta, which is the fashion week here. I've also worked with the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. I've done several events for them, for Alice and Olivia. I've done work for the Shops at Buckhead as well, which is like a really big retail center. That's actually where like Alice and Olivia and Billy Reed are. I am more confident and bold, because some of the things that I have stood up for myself on, I'm like, I know I would not have said anything 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I'm not afraid just to talk to anybody about my artwork now, or what I do. I'm not afraid to approach people, because like I've seen now how people actually do believe in what it is that I do. And it just took a while for me to like get to that point. And if someone doesn't, then that's okay too. Like it just means that they're not my person. I would just trust your instincts as well. Like if you're feeling pulled to do a program like with Bree, then I would trust that, because that's what I ended up doing at first. And I was questioning it at first. I think I even remembered you telling you that back in the day, and then it worked out. I was able to make way more than what I was originally paying for your program. So it may have taken a little bit for it to come, it was a lot of hard work to get there, but it was still something that worked out in the end. And so I feel like if it's meant to work out, it will.